Milan have got some money to spend now, Jules, and we've talked about it a lot over the last couple of days, the possibility of Christian Pulisic making that move to Italy. He wants to go, it seems. However, Lyon have got involved.
Yeah, and in a way, you can admire John Textor, the new owner, the American owner, thinking, hey, what a great coup this would be if I can bring Christian Pulisic to Lyon. That would give me a bit more credit. It will make the US talk about Lyon a bit more, maybe talk about myself a bit more as well as a Lyon owner. Okay, let's be honest here. I've got nothing against John Textor. I'm not really sure he's a good owner, full stop. I'm not sure he knows much what he's doing and what he's talking about. But the offer that they
Jules, did you just start that sentence with no offence to him, and you just offended him?
No, I'm just saying.
No offence.
I don't want him to complain too much.
I think you're a terrible owner.
But they made an offer that was not the 25 million that Chelsea are after anywhere, nowhere near. It's a club that doesn't have any Champions League, not just Champions League football next season, no European football at all. It's a club that is more in disarray than anything else, that has gone downwards more than upwards. Why would Christian Pulisic go there anyway? And they can't even afford him. They can't pay his wages. So, okay, he's ready to take a pay cut to go to Milan because it's Milan, because they've got Champions League, because a year ago they won the title, because they just reached the semi-final of the Champions League. Why would you go to Lyon? I mean, again, I admire his idea, but it was not a good idea, and the execution was not good either. So it's a no to Lyon, certainly, in the current offer. And again, I don't think Lyon can do much better either. So if Milan and Chelsea can work out a deal, and that's where he wants to go to Milan, he's agreed personal terms already, I think this is far more likely than Lyon.
Don, when I think of you and Christian Pulisic, I think of you banging on about how great he was in the European Super Cup, I think it was, a few years ago. You kept referring back to that. Can he recapture that form and get you going on about it all over again?
Well, if you remember, Dan, at the same time, I also said about his character that was quite a bit of a running joke on the show, and I said he's very, very shy, and I said it over and over again because he is, and I'm still waiting to see that player. He's been very injury-prone. I don't think even Thomas Tuchel, who's had him twice, particularly trusts him, and he should know him inside out more than anyone. And I think now it's on the player, because I think we all recognise that Christian Pulisic's a talent and he's got good ability, but now he needs to start churning out the games. I don't think he plays enough. I don't think he starts enough games. The games that you see there, I would imagine the majority of those games will be coming off the bench. I can't remember the last time I've seen a Christian Pulisic that completed something like 25 or 30 starts, and that's what you want from, you know, a good player with the talent that he's got. So I'm looking at the player now and I'm thinking, right, this is on you. You can't go through the managers and the clubs that you're going through without looking at yourself in the mirror. And that's what I'd be doing if I was Christian Pulisic. Maybe he needs a fresh start, but he's had quite a few big clubs. So he's got to choose the next move that he makes wisely. But wherever he goes, he's got to make sure he performs. And as I said, keep churning out the 30, 40 games, because that's exactly what he needs. He can't be a bit part player for the next 2, 3, 4 years.
If you're a Milan fan, would you be excited about this proposition, Don?
Exactly what I said, Dan. I think if you're a Milan fan, you'd look and you'd recognise the talent and you go, yeah, he's a good player and yeah, he's got the talent, but there's a reason probably why Milan are getting Christian Pulisic if they get him, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, because maybe they're not good enough for Chelsea. So that rings alarm bells straight away, because you're not buying elite players. So I think if you're Milan, I think he's an upgrade on Moises, who I've never really rated in a Milan shirt. He's not quite done it, even though he's quite young. But I think we've seen in the Champions Leagues towards the end of the season against Inter in a couple of games that he wasn't at that level. So if Christian Pulisic can step up and start performing, then he's a very, very good player. But as I said, it's on him.
Of course, as you mentioned, a number of players leaving Chelsea. The latest link to a move out of Stamford Bridge is Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, we've talked about a lot his future. Inter Milan got a little bit of money now. Brozovic going to Saudi Arabia. Are they ready to make a bid now, Jules?
Yeah, I think they've been preparing it for a few weeks, knowing that at some point some money will come in. And the money, as you said, is there. Not hundreds of millions for Brozovic, but the money is there so they can work out a structure that could appeal to Chelsea. Whether Chelsea would be happy, for example, with another loan, with an option to buy or even an obligation to buy at the end for, let's say, around 30 million euros. Maybe whether they would want a permanent deal now, this is another possibility. And you can understand why Chelsea would want Lukaku out completely of the club and of the books, not just on loan where you still pay some of his wages and then the amortization is kicking in, and then you'll have to sell for way less money than you bought him back at the club, back at the time from Inter Milan. So that again, that they would have to discuss it. But certainly now Inter are in a stronger position. From a Chelsea point of view, you look at Inter saying, okay, now we can talk seriously, because before it was about like, hey, what about we still take him on loan, but you pay more of his wages than you've just done in the season that I've just finished. Now it's a different conversation, and I think the two clubs can sit down now with Lukaku and his agent and find an agreement altogether, because that's all they want. Chelsea don't want him next season or this season. He doesn't want to stay. He wants to go to Inter Milan, who wants him as well. So there should be a way for everybody to find a way to make this happen.
No secret, though, of course, Don, that Chelsea need a striker. Vlahovic has been linked to a move to Stamford Bridge. What happened? He was really good when he started at Juventus, and he was rubbish.
I know, he couldn't buy a goal last season. He was completely shot of any sort of confidence. The reports over in England are linking him with a one-season move to Real Madrid on loan, maybe while they wait for Kylian Mbappe next season. I don't know. But in terms of the player Vlahovic, I mean, on his game and when he's super confident, he's some centre forward. You know, he holds the ball up well. He's good in the air. He's strong. His attributes are good. He can finish. But at the minute, you're looking at a player who's just got no confidence whatsoever. And maybe it's the environment that he's in at Juve, where they've been completely out of form under Allegri for a good 18 months, troubles on and off the pitch. Allegri's tinkered with different formations, different personnel. He can't get Chiesa going, who's like one of the most incredible players, again, when he's fitting on his game. So, again, a little bit like Christian Pulisic, he needs to get going. You can't keep going through the seasons where your numbers are diminishing, because he's too good for that. So a reset button, I think, needs to be pressed on his part. But in terms of the talent, it's there. And if someone bought him, if it was an Arsenal, Chelsea, whoever it might be, Real Madrid, whoever, there's goals in him.
Jules, really? To Chelsea?
I think, to be fair, for Pochettino, who needs a striker, and we talked about Nico Jackson coming, who's still very raw, very young, not much experience at that kind of level. I think Vlahovic is an upgrade to Nico Jackson, of course, and Vlahovic would tick a lot of the boxes of what Pochettino wants. He's got the intelligence, he's got a great left foot, everything that Don has said, basically, and I think he would do really well in the Premier League, at Chelsea. Let's not forget, at Juventus, it was in a team that was not playing football. That's not what Juventus were doing. They were not there to create chances for the striker. Collectively, it was dire from what we saw from Allegri's team. Allegri never put anything in place to make Vlahovic shine either. And there were so many games where you could see how frustrated he was because the ball would never come. Even with the Chiesa, with the Di Maria, with all those kind of players, the ball would never come because Juventus was so bad collectively as a team. I agree with Don. I think he needs to go. Just even mentally, he must be drained by that season that he just had. That was so difficult. Whereas we saw at Fiorentina how good he could be in a team that was actually playing for him, build around him. And I think, again, you go to Chelsea, that's exactly what Poch wants. He wants a 9 that he can build around. And then you just add the pieces of the jigsaw, of the puzzle, and you make it work for your number 9. And for me, Vlahovic, and we wrote the story a month ago on the website that he was offered and Chelsea were considering it, they were quite keen. I think he would be perfect for them.